Alright, we got La Cienega. Open that up for me. Who this? I'm getting in the truck in the middle of traffic. It's La Cienega right here, people. Alright, we're going southbound on La Cienega. (8:30, 10:30, 1:30) sermons. I've never seen a church with a storefront that all they showed was their website. Ford Church LA. This is a new building, people. Yes, you are looking at this church building that was newly constructed in 2005 at 2037 La Cienega Boulevard. And prior to this church being here, because this is an area that I frequented many times throughout the years. This is La Cienega Boulevard looking south. Prior to this church being built here, it was actually a liquor store / market by the name of Thrift Town Market. And this is a market that I've actually been in several times over the years. And if you'll notice a little further down, there was also a WSS Shoes. This church apparently acquired multiple buildings and built this, I guess you could say, this sort of super church. And it's been there now for 10 years. If you're from LA, do you remember ever going into this Thrift Town Market? And have you ever shopped at that WSS Shoes? Let me know. And maybe you caught a sermon or two at that new church. This is PBG Hood, Playboy Gangster Crip neighborhood, Cadillac and La Cienega. That's a predominantly black neighborhood in a predominantly white part of town with a growing Hispanic population. Alright, we're going under the Santa Monica 10 freeway. Venice. Getting a little bit of glare on the lens. This is Davis Brothers Tires, and at this part of La Cienega is Culver City. You got LA to the east, Culver City to the west, and I always found this tire place an interesting building because it's been there a long time. This building under this same company has been in operation for over 80 years. And I hope this building and this structure stays there for a long time, because all throughout Los Angeles they have demolished old historic buildings so that they can build new high-rise apartment buildings. But so far, Davis Brothers Tires, they've been hanging in there. 80 years, hopefully they'll make it to 100 years right here on the corner of La Cienega and Washington. Now, right across the street from Davis Brothers Tires, we're talking about the southwest corner of Washington and La Cienega. You're looking at Gabby's Express Mediterranean Cafe. Now, this is a place that I've actually been to a couple times, because there's a 7-Eleven inside this strip mall, and I've stopped through there, and they actually had some pretty good healthy food. But what I also noticed about this structure, this corner, this building specifically, is that it's been quite a few different businesses over the time. So back in 2009, this was actually a Pizza Hut. Do y'all remember that? This was a Pizza Hut. And then it became Gabby's in 2010. And Gabby's Express Mediterranean Cafe actually had a pretty good run. They made it to about 2020. It must have been COVID. Who knows? But then it became this ceviche stop restaurant. But the ceviche restaurant didn't last long. By 2025, it is now a vacant building waiting for a new tenant. I've never been in that Pizza Hut. I have been to Gabby's, and I've never had ceviche at this spot. And I've always found it in an unusual corner. I don't think it attracts business, even though there's a parking lot there. The 7-Eleven has been going strong, which is to the right side of this building, for quite a while. But I guarantee you, whoever moves in this building next, if they can make it 5 years, kudos to them.
A little bit more sunlight over here. We're actually driving through a little strip of Culver City. We're driving through the eastern tip of Culver City.
You're looking at Junior's Barbecue, which is right on La Cienega, right before you get to Black Welder Street if you're traveling south on La Cienega. Now, I've been seeing this barbecue place for years, and I've never stopped in and tried it out. But they must be doing something right, because they opened in 1998, and here it is 27 years later, and they're still going strong. If you've been to Junior's Barbecue, let me know how it is, and maybe I'll stop through there, try some food, and maybe shoot a video about their food. approaching Rodeo, which is now Obama, but this video was shot in 2015 and it was Rodeo back then. And you'll notice on the right hand side there's a Target, and you'll also notice the Arco gas station there. And for those who don't remember, back up to 2009, it was 2009 when Target purchased or acquired that property. And as you see here in this picture, the entire block all the way to Stocker is the parking lot for Target. But you might remember there was a small little Arco station there, and that station closed down in 2009, and Target took over the whole lot. But also another piece of interesting history is that this used to be a Fedco. Fedco was one of the first big box stores prior to Costco, prior to Sam's Club. Membership was required, and they used to sell, all kind of items, and it was a staple in Los Angeles. Fedco opened up in 1948, and they filed bankruptcy in 1999. But this particular Fedco actually was looted and then eventually burned in the 1992 Los Angeles civil unrest. And here's a little bit of footage that was shot from this exact location. You're looking at a little history. Maybe the next time you go into that Target, you'll think about the Fedco that used to be here and the 1992 civil unrest, which brought this particular Fedco to an end.
The current legislation amounts to a blank check for the president. When the new one expires, the next president can simply rely on this old authorization and say that gives me the authority
Rodeo. East. Village Green. Too much sun. I'll go with the straight route. Baking soda. I got baking soda. No blanker? The hell? They're giving tickets for that, by the way. Okay? You don't gotta move. They're on the other side. sky's not looking so blue. The eastern sky is blown out.